aside from Mirage, obviously, what's your all-time favorite Assassin's Creed game?
Assassin's Creed 1, I would say. Yeah, because I mean, it was the one. Yeah, dude, it was the one that pulled me in, and I remember I'd never played anything like it. And the historical elements and like the use of the animus and like genetic history to a character and being able to relive like, I don't know, like your ancestors' lives and I've just found that stuff so cool.
For me, I like, I mean, it's been so long since I played them too, but I think Assassin's Creed 2 felt like all the great ideas that were in 1, I think like 2 really capitalized on, I think. But I mean, but you can't have 2 without 1. So I mean, that's either way, respectable answer. That's
fair. I do like, I found that, so one of the things that I really got pulled into was, so in Assassin's Creed Origins, I found that the voice actor of Bayek was like, there was something, I remember the first time playing that where like his guttural emotional response to stuff that was happening, I was like, oh, okay, no, that guy's hitting in on something. That guy's hunkering, and I kind of wanted to like make sure we kind of brought that to the performance for Basim a little bit. I was like, nah, we need real raw emotions for this one.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, tell me a little bit about the opportunity that led you to getting cast as Basim in Mirage. I mean, was there any hesitancy on your part whatsoever, or were you just immediately like, hell yes, I'm in?
Oh, I mean, I would say if there was any hesitancy, it was like, oh my gosh, like how important or big the opportunity is. You know, as you know, I'm like a big video game person, and you know, been busting my butt getting into the voice industry for years now. And so when this opportunity came along, and when they told me like, look, we're going back to kind of like that original vibe, the stealth element, we want to investigate a little bit, well, not a little bit, a lot of it of Basim's earlier life. We're going back to the Middle East. It was scary in the sense of like, and this is getting like real kind of deep with you, but I'd been struggling with identity for quite some time in my 20s, and a lot of my years were spent kind of like severing that Middle Eastern part from myself. I was born in Lebanon, you know, I learned the Arabic language, and then, you know, going through stuff in life, I was like, I would sever. I had this kind of resentment towards it. And so the last few years of my life, I've been getting back into it. And, you know, I remember calling up my mom like 8 months before Mirage happened. And I was like, I think I want to learn the language again. I think I want to learn Arabic. I think I want to learn more about our culture. So her and I started to spend like 2-3 times a week learning the language. She would like spend time. She would send me stuff. I would start learning to speak Arabic again, reading Arabic, and then, you know, falling back in love with like the Middle Eastern culture and where I'm from, and I like our history and stuff. And then Mirage came about, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to do this. Like it's one of those, like, you know, all the planets align and higher power and all that stuff.
Right. So it feels like such a full circle moment for you.
Yeah. And especially because they're taking such care with it, right? It's the historical accuracy, the importance of like,
so authentic.
Yeah. And I mean, as you know, like Baghdad looks incredible, and they've stayed so true to the history of the Middle East around that time, and that it was a melting pot. I think a lot of people don't realize that it was different cultures and religions all mixed together in the Silk Road, I think it was called.
Now, Basim's kind of a handsome guy. Do you think the fact that you have a passing real life resemblance to him might have helped you get cast a little bit?
I'd like to think that, yes. I think it had nothing to do with my my abilities as an actor, the tone of my voice or anything. They were like, that guy kind of looks like the guy that we're designing. He's him. And it's that beard. It's the beard that got it.
Now, you know, obviously there was a much older version of Basim that was played by Carlo Rota in Valhalla. Now, once you were cast, did you have any conversations with him about the character, or was there anything significant from his performance that you felt like you needed to adopt and kind of, you know, keep within Basim?
Good question. I didn't have the chance to talk to Carlo. I did have, like, there was a little bit of like you know, what's what's the route here? Like, we're going with a different actor. But then if you know Basim's story in Valhalla, and if you know what he's gone through, then the change in actor kind of makes sense and works. There were little things that I took, like I watched all of his stuff and his performance of Basim, and I was like, okay, cool. Let's find like these little moments, these little nuances that we can inject, and hopefully that comes through. But I think we had like such freedom with kind of visiting Basim in like his late teens, early 20s, where he's kind of quite far away from where we see him in Valhalla.
Now, as a fan, did you play Valhalla before you were cast? And if so, what were your thoughts on Basim as a character before you knew you'd be playing him?
I actually haven't played Valhalla yet.
Me either. So, guilty as charged.
But I watched. I remember I was getting pulled in. I was starting to watch like all the cinematics before even getting the job, and then I got the job, and then just kind of like delved back into the cinematics because I was like really pulled into the story of Valhalla. But I was still playing Odyssey at the time when Valhalla came out, and I was like, oh, geez, I'm so many hours into Odyssey, and I need to give myself some time before I get into Valhalla. So I watched all of the cinematics, and Basim's super intriguing.
Yeah,
he's such an intriguing character.
I wanted to bring up how you sort of talked about earlier about how the series is like, it sort of marks a return to the more classical parkour that's been like associated with Assassin's Creed games. Did you get a chance to perform any of the parkour stunts yourself, or did you just leave that up to the animators?
Well, basically, what I did was I gave them some reference that they could use. I basically did all the parkour that you see in The Office. I kind of gave them that as a reference. I would also yell parkour, but with an Arabic accent. So I was like, parkour. And I don't know if they used any of that. They didn't ask for it either, but I thought I would offer it.
And I know that you have a knack for accents, particularly Scottish accents. I've heard how
of course. Right.
Your Scottish accent.
We're talking with Chris Killian for anyone that doesn't know.
Oh, yeah, we are. Look at that. It sounds so good right there. Now, was Basim's accent, was that something you needed to like, did that come naturally to you, or did you have any sort of dialect coach to help you out with that?
No, so I mean, I've always, like you said, I mean, I've spent a lot of my life actually. I've always been interested by dialects and everything, and Arabic, the Arabic accent, I've always had in my back pocket, right? I did grow up speaking the language. I did grow up like having a lot of references as to like family members that would speak English with an Arabic accent. I've played many characters like film and TV that, well, not many, but I've played a few characters that speak with an Arabic accent. But it is always the approach to authenticity. And trying to stay away from the stereotype, right? Because I think it's so easy, especially with certain dialects, it's so easy to go stereotypical and really like hit certain things way harder.
Oh, sure.
But with Basim, it was the accent itself wasn't necessarily a challenge as much as it was finding his vocal journey through the game, because he does go through a lot in Mirage. And so one of the decisions that we came to together was, okay, how does his journey throughout Mirage affect his voice? And I think we tried to age him, you know, whether the trauma that he's experiencing or whatnot, kind of like, okay, now we're getting more bass in his voice. Now he's deeper in his voice and deeper in his voice. He's talking a little bit less. He's choosing the time to speak more. So that was mainly more of like the focus of like where kind of like the training and stuff kind of came in.
Yeah, of course. Like going from that street rat sort of theme that you've got going on to, you know, becoming this sort of, you know, gruff assassin that, you know, that Basim becomes. Now, are you prepared for the amount of cosplaying you're going to see as Basim at future cons? And what are the chances that you might suit up yourself sometime? Okay,
so I can't wait to see all of the cosplayers. Very excited. I already know that some people have put some stuff together, which is, it's incredible, man, what they can do in such short. They're like, oh, new assassin. A week later, there's a cosplay, and you're like, how did you do
I know,
that, dude? I am considering it, man. I am considering, like, I think I'd need to find someone that could put an outfit together for me.
Dude, I have people that could make you some really sweet suits, I think. I mean, you've seen my stuff. I've
Look,
got so
honestly,
many.
here's a deal I'll make with the world. If I'm brought in to certain cons for Mirage specifically, I will show up. If someone can put an outfit together, I will show up as Basim. That's a promise. That's a
I'll
promise.
put it together myself.
Let's make it happen. He looks awesome. So cool, dude. I'll even have the pink hair.
He looks awesome. I love the. I don't know. It's such a simple but I love the blue. Like the blue accents.
So nice.
I just thought he looked. I was like, this looks great. I love the way he looks in the game.
Dude,
in fact, I didn't change him at all. And Jake was saying something about how I didn't change Basim's look. And I was like, I didn't feel the need to change his look when I was like previewing the game. I thought that he looked great the way that he comes in the game. So I don't know. I'll probably mess with it when I get to play it some more and change it around.
Yeah, I'll definitely mess with it. But I agree with you. I do like it. I mean, I was just like playing some stuff myself and seeing some more cinematics and everything. And I realized like the way he and Roshan look together when he's in the blue and she's in the red, it works so well. Like, I know there's the options to dye the outfits. And like you said, I might play with that once I've done like maybe a playthrough. Yeah, but now I do like the assassin robes.
I've asked you this privately, but I got to ask you on the record. But what are the odds we get ourselves an extra Agent Stone skin to download once the game comes out?
You know what's funny? I did have the conversation with them as a joke, like today. I was like, guys, DLC content, Agent Stone skin.
It's right there. It's right there.
I don't know if it's gonna happen, but it was talked about. Agent Basim Ibn Ishaq Stone. There you go.
That's amazing. I love that. Last question. We all know you're a big video game guy, and I've tuned into your Twitch a few times myself just to say hi. What video games are you playing right now?
Right now, I just beat God of War Ragnarok. Took me a while to get into it, but I got a PS5 recently only. So I beat that. I think I'm going into either Horizon Forbidden West, but I might wait because it might take me longer than a month to beat it. And of course, I'm going to be playing Mirage when that comes out. So, but there's a few games that I haven't finished that I'm jumping into. But yeah, I'm waiting for the Cyberpunk DLC also.
Oh, yeah. That looks great. I've been so busy lately that I haven't been able to finish. I've started Ragnarok. I've started the new Star Wars game, and there's something else that I can't finish anything lately. It's the worst. I hate it.
Dude, Ragnarok is really good, man. I was blown away at the growth that Kratos had from the first one. So get back into that one. I mean, there's so many, like you said, there's so many that I've like, I got to go through my list again and be like, oh, right. I just finished a game on Switch that I didn't realize I hadn't played in like a year called Hob. It's like a nice indie game. It's so cool. But yeah, any chance to get, man, just like, or just play whatever the hell you want to play.
I'm going to play Mirage. That's what I'm going to play.
There you go. That's the one. Take a break. You're taking a month break. You're prepping yourself.
I'll take it off, man. I don't have time. I mean, now that the strike's going on, I'm just going to,
Hey, what better excuse than not feeling well to sit down and just put hours and hours into video games?
Literally yesterday, I thought about starting Miles Morales because I never played that one. And then
I haven't either.
Game was coming up. And so I thought about playing that one. But if I'd had a download code, Jake, for Mirage, I would have played that while I was sick.
Get him a download code, Jake. Gosh.
Gotta wait till it's out.